The January data is in, and we have some bad news for home sellers. And I mean, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Morning Drive. This is Jesse Paul with the Larkin Group, Keller Williams Realty. And today we have an infamous guest. We've had him on before, but people love it when he comes on. Carl Wright with R1 Appraisals.
Oh, thank you, Jesse, for having me on. It's always a good time. I was flattered again that you would have me come be a guest on your show. Love the show. Love what you guys do here. So thank you for letting me come on today.
You bet. You bet. So what have you been up to, man? We were talking a little bit earlier. You have been crazy busy.
Life is just busy. You know, when you have 4 kids that you chase around and you coach sports, it's busy, you know. And I also picked up another gig recently with the Utah Tech football team, and so I'm
really,
yeah.
So you're helping coach them?
Not coach them. I'm helping mentor them, and so a lot of these young athletes come from out of state, have never been to Utah before, and especially in a small community like this, they're away from their families, away from their parents, and they just need some love. And so there's the Utah Tech football team has a mentoring program. In fact, they do it for a lot of their teams.
That's really cool.
And so my wife and I get to go once a week and talk to them about life skills. Yesterday we talked about power of thought and how your thoughts control the things that happen to you, and it's been super rewarding, Jesse. Like,
you know, it's people don't realize how we actually attract the things that happen in our life. Quick story. This is totally off the wall what we were going to talk about, but we were talking about yesterday something, and mistletoe. She's been sick a little bit, and she had a little accident in the office, so I cleaned it up, and one of our agents said, "Man, I just dogs make me so nervous, and I'm always worried about them, you know, doing their business around me." Mm-hmm. So he's putting out his open house signs, and he's so worried about it. A dog actually did his business on his sign.
Yeah, that's so funny. You attract what you think of.
You attract what you're thinking about.
Whether you're scared of it or whether you're excited about it, you're going to attract the same thing.
Yeah, I've done hundreds of open houses. Mm-hmm. Not one time have I ever had a dog poop right on my open house. I said, wow, what a powerful example of we literally attract the thing that we pay attention to.
Another example, I'm flipping a house over in on Paradise Way. It's up for sale right now, and I've been nervous about the neighborhood. It's a little bit older neighborhood, and things like that. And so I've been nervous about it. And guess what? The feedback I've got, the neighborhood. And instead of changing my thoughts of like, this is going to be a great family home for a great family that's starting off, that can grow into this home. And I've been worried about the neighborhood. And that's all the feedback I've been getting instead of
energy is a big deal.
Oh, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal.
I've actually taken over quite a few listings over the years where I've literally said to the seller, hey, we need to change the energy of this home.
Yeah.
And that starts with yours.
Totally. I totally 100% agree with that.
And sometimes I've even had to check my own energy on a listing, right? Because the second part of that team is me.
Yeah.
What's my energy going in?
Yeah. Am I positive about it, or am I negative about it?
Right.
Am I saying like, I'm never going to be able to sell this house, or here's a great opportunity to sell this house to somebody that is looking for exactly this type of unique home, right?
Right.
It carries so much. Have you ever read the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen?
Yes.
My favorite book of all time.
Is it?
Yep, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's
anyways,
awesome.
That was a kind of a random tangent. But
my favorite book is actually The Surrender Experiment.
Ooh, I've never read that one.
Oh, it's so good. It's actually the life story of Michael Singer.
Okay.
He wrote another book called The Untethered Soul.
I've read that. That's a great book.
And it's the follow-up book to that is his life story, and it was just so powerful.
Yeah. I love it.
So good.
So good. Power of thought.
So, and this is totally counterintuitive to what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Right? Because what we're going to talk about today is what is the market doing for right now? And more specifically, how important is it to get your home sold sooner than later?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've been looking for data like this for a long time because there's no real report that I can pull that really shows me the cost of
Time on market.
time on market.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're just joining us, we are on Facebook Live on the Larkin Group's page, Facebook Live, and we're going to go through this data that shows really what happens when you list your house and you're on the market for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, up to 6 months. So, and when I sent you this morning, was it a surprise?
It was actually a real surprise to me.
Yeah.
It's typical marketing time right now in St. George, because I run that that's a very important number for us as appraisers, is what's the time on market? How long is it going to take this house to sell? Especially when we get into the refinances, because I have to make some assumptions about how long it'll take for this home to sell. Typical marketing time right now is under 90 days.
Okay.
Under 90 days. So anything over 90 days, there's either a problem with the listing, or you're listed too high, or et cetera. So
the first graph that I pulled up is, so what we did is we took all of the sales that happened in January, just January of
and
said, okay, we put them into the old trusty Chat GPT with a few prompts to put, because there's not a report that I can pull that shows this.
Right.
And I said, okay, take it in 30-day increments. What percentage of the sales happen in the first 30 days? And the number was 30.7. So almost 31% of sales happen in the first 30 days.
That's awesome.
Okay. And then in the next 30 days, 18%. So by the time you get to your 6 months, only 4% of the homes will sell.
Wow.
That's really what that says. You've got a 4% chance to sell.
If you sit on market all the way through 6 months.
All the way through 6 months, yeah. So that was powerful to me, because in real estate, right, for instance, you say, well, the average days on market is 85. So to a seller, they often think, okay, well, I'm not in a hurry. I've got time. I've got time to wait for that perfect buyer. So, but what we don't think about, or what we don't realize, is what that is going to cost us, not only in the chances of selling, but so then we took that same data and we said, okay, over time, how much does that cost the seller? And the way we look at that is, okay, so what was their original price and what was their final sale price? So, because a lot of people are afraid, well, if I sell my house in that first 2 weeks or 30 days, I'm giving my house away.
Yeah.
And ironically, those are the people that actually had to negotiate the least, right? 2% on average.
Wow.
If they get their home sold in the first 30 days. What's your thoughts about that?
It makes sense. I think, there's a lot of buyers that are sitting on the fence right now that want to buy homes, that are waiting for the right home. And if the right home comes on the market and they like the price, they're going to jump into the market and they're going to make an offer, right? So the longer a home sits, the more price reductions you're going to have. So it's really like, appraisers are like the ultimate home buyer. I get to go into homes and I get to see what their updates are, what their upgrades are, and I get to decipher how the general market will react to this home once it goes on the market.
Okay.
And if it's too high, if you're priced too high, you don't get any showings, right?
Yeah.
That's the best indicator that you're in the right price range, is that you're getting people inside your house.
Right.
And so
true. If you're not getting showings, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Like,
that means
sell the
you
house.
have to have an immediate price drop, and a pretty dramatic price drop. Because if you wait to make that price drop at 90 days, you're old news. You're old news on the market.
Yep.
And
so let's go through this data. So at 90 days, the average of sellers, they're having to reduce their price to the final price, right, of 5.4%. So that waiting cost them 3%.
Yeah.
Right? If they were just to wait. But after that, then it gets really big. You goes to 7.5%.
Wow.
So if somebody waits that full 6 months, on average, they're having to negotiate a full 10%
Wow.
to get a closing.
Wow.
So
That's a huge number.
Right? The old theory of I'm not in a hurry is costly.
It's very costly. I mean, based on this data, you're going to have to reduce the price of your home by 10%. You're going to lose 10%. You're going to lose 10% if you don't get it listed properly and get it marketed correctly.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
Right. And you and I were talking about earlier, and I think the biggest problem is that people will, let's say we go in and we say, okay, here's our range, and let's just use an average number of 600,000. Let's say our range is 600 to 625. And the seller will almost always choose that top range, right? That's 625. Without really considering, okay, now let's go over here and see how am I comparing to my competition.
Right.
That is the most important.
Correct.
Because if I'm not the very best in that pool of houses, I'm actually just going to help my competition sell for the highest price.
Right. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So make sure that when you list your home, you're seeing what other homes that are similar to yours are actively listed for.
Right. That's a big deal because a lot of times it's not natural to go, okay, I'm competing with other people. You're just thinking, oh, I'm selling my home. No big deal. I got a good price. Let's go.
Yeah.
And we don't look at that, or they don't look at that other factor, or they don't realize just how important it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Right. And that's why it's important too. It's important to have somebody that can, if you're not, don't feel comfortable selling your home, that's why it's so important to find a real estate agent that is competent, that can list your home at the right price, that has a solid CMA that gives you the right price for your home. That because it's really going to save you money in the long run. Because I mean, even if that from 30 days to 60 days, there was a 3% decrease, right? There's your commissions right there.
It's
if
huge.
you price it right, you're gonna save time on market, and you're going to save money if you price it right. So it comes out a wash, and less stress on you as a seller. I mean, it is stressful selling a home, very stressful, especially the home that you're living in, because now your life gets put in limbo. Where am I going to be going? When am I going to get an offer? I've got to find another house. So when you're selling your home, just find a competent agent that knows what they're doing and can help price your home correct, and trust them, right? A lot of times agents will call me to come in and say like, hey, I've got a client. They think it's worth $1 million. I know it's only worth 800,000, but they won't listen to me. We're going to get an appraisal, right? Yeah. So just listen to your agents. I'm putting myself out of business here, right? Because that's how I get some of my business.
Not necessarily.
But it's really good to just listen to your agents. They know what most of them know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting is pricing a home is a lot deeper than just, I just know that's what it's worth.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy that, and we've done this to ourselves, agents will go, yeah, I can price a home off the hip. I don't believe that.
I don't believe it either, because there's so many factors. There's so many things that you have to take into account.
The appraiser, I mean, you'll go to a house and you'll do your thing. And how much research and data do you do before you actually get that appraisal in?
I mean, a ton. We pull the county records. I pull the county sketch. I pull the county taxes. I pull the county property card. I look at the zoning. I look at the plat map. That's all before I even go out to the property. I look at the purchase contract. And then once I get to the house, I see what it's made of and consists of, the quality and the condition. And then after I've done the inspection, which takes me anywhere from from a half hour to an hour at the home. Then I go back and I pull the comparable data to say like, okay, this one has upgraded countertops. This one doesn't. This one has a higher level of finish and this one doesn't. And so I start making market-driven adjustments. And, and so an appraisal will take, it just depends on the complexity of it, but anywhere from 2 to 10 hours, just depends on the complexity.
And so I've often said it's not as easy as you think.
And that's just one property. And a CMA is essentially a dumbed down appraisal in some senses, right? So you have to spend an hour to 2 to 3 to 4 hours on pricing a home and not just pulling something from the hip.
And especially in a market that's been as weird as ours, right? Where the hardest thing to do right now is find the right price on a property.
It is.
Here's what's interesting though. We're starting to see for the sellers that are actually like really getting it ready, doing the pre-maintenance, making sure all the repairs are done, cleaning it up, deep cleaning, making sure their curb appeal is good, making sure they have good photography, making sure they have a good price. We are actually starting to see some multiple offers.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I saw it too.
So it's crazy in that kind of a scenario how we have so many homes sitting because they either, number one, didn't do all that stuff. Number two, decided to pick I'm going to do the high end of the range versus what actually makes sense.
Right.
And the ones that are actually going through the multiple offers are getting a lot more money than those that are trying to price it to save room for negotiations.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important to understand, Jesse, what kind of market we're currently in. When you sell your house. Right now, we're in a buyer's market, meaning there's an I wouldn't say an oversupply of homes, but there's more homes to choose from than there were in 2020 to 2022, which was a seller's market. So depending on what kind of market we're in, right now we're in a buyer's market, meaning that the sellers don't dictate what the price is. It's the buyers that dictate what the price is.
Very true.
And so, and short, I mean, depending on interest rates and a lot of other factors, we could shift into a seller's market in 2026.
Because we don't necessarily have a ton of inventory. We've got just more of a balanced market inventory, but we've been in, even the last 2 years, on paper, it says we've been in the seller's market, but totally it's been a buyer's market for about 2 years, 3 years. So this is the first time we can actually prove it with the data, right? Yeah. With we've got almost 5.5 months of inventory. Sellers are having to negotiate at least 95% off of their original price. If you look at the whole average, right? And so, but once they get to the right price, here's what's interesting. Once they finally get to that right price, they're not negotiating too much, like 98.5.
Yeah.
So 1.5%.
Points. That's not
buyers are actually still serious. They're just waiting for the sellers to become more serious about the reality of the current pricing.
Yeah, I like that.
The current values.
We to go back to buyers and sellers market. We're next week is the parade of homes. Yeah, and it is a great time if you've thought about it, that it is the best time to sell your home in February, March, April. Yes, that is our market. Historically been the best selling time. So if you're considering selling your house, or if you want to, you thought about moving or upgrading your home, the average home, how long the average person stays in their home prior to 2020.
Prior to 2020, about 6 years.
That's exactly right. 6 years. Okay.
And now
after 2020, and after, because everybody wants to stay in their current mortgage rate, right? Yeah, that's really got people stuck. They want to sell their home, but they don't want to sell their rate because they're under 3%.
Yeah, I don't think. I think when we did that, the COVID pricing for interest rates. Yes, they were trying to come out of a pandemic. They were trying to save the economy. But anytime we have stuff like that, anytime we get involved in the natural cycle of anything,
it messes things
up. Have to realize there's consequences.
Yeah. And the consequences have been that there's not as many sellers
Yep.
right now in the market.
Well, and the consequences of the market took off too much, so then they had to go the other way, pulling interest rates up so they could slow the market down. I wonder what would have actually happened if they would have just left it alone.
We wouldn't be in such high prices that we have right now.
Yeah.
So it was good for all the current homeowners, but it's terrible for those who want to get into the market. It's a difficult situation. So
Well, and it was so hard for people during that time. I mean, 2020 to 2020, the first part of 2022,
April.
literally, you could almost put any price on your home and get it.
I mean, and it was multiple offers.
Nuts.
It was an appraiser's nightmare.
And so and so for buyers, for sellers, that was hard too, just in a different way. But for buyers, it was very hard.
Yeah.
I had so many people give up because they just couldn't take the letdown and the pressure of, man, we lost out one more time.
Yeah.
Man, we lost out one more time. And then they just couldn't purchase.
Yeah.
And now they're literally priced out of the market.
Yeah.
They're stuck.
What are your feelings? We're winding down here, but I have a question for you, Jesse, because you're a very knowledgeable realtor. I've known you for almost 20. No, it's been closer to 15 years.
Yeah. Wow.
What is your prediction for 2026? What do you see the outcome coming? Do you feel like we're going to move into a seller's market, or do you feel like inventory is going to stay about the same? Tell me what your thoughts are.
I feel like it's going to stay pretty balanced or the same. The only caveat to that is it really depends on what the government does. If they actually lower interest rates, I think our market will actually pick up.
Oh yeah,
and we'll probably see prices go up a little bit. But if they stay just where they're at, we'll probably just see another stable market where it just goes up a little bit this year.
That's good.
Which I hope is what happens.
I hope so too. I hope. I don't want to see things get out of control again. As far
we can't sustain it.
No.
You know, we're unless we want to become a park city, where all of our homes are owned by millionaires and you're right, they're all multi-million-dollar homes, and our average people are having to move out to Apple Valley or Central to actually afford a home.
Yeah.
If it goes too crazy again, how long before we're actually there?
Yeah.
Where people can't buy a house here.
It's getting to that point. We're no longer a small little sleepy town. We've said this for years. I've been here over 20 years. In fact, 20 years in September, I'll have been here. And I've watched this grow tremendously. And it's fun. It's fun. You see all these, we're getting our second Costco.
Yep.
We're getting a
Winco.
We're getting a lot of commercial to support the residential that's already here, and that's an exciting thing. But
one other one that I heard of is Roost Chris Steakhouse is coming to town.
Oh, let's go!
I'm not sure when, but they are coming.
Let's
so
go.
We're getting some really big businesses. I'm excited personally about the Winco.
Yeah.
Because I love Winco. I love going there to get my coffee. Because right now I go to Costco to get it. But
yeah.
I love the Winco coffee.
Let's go.
I'm a coffee guy.
I'm excited about the second Costco to relieve some of the pressure on the other Costco. And I think it'll take a lot of pressure off being down by Sun River. And it's going to be great.
I think so too. So we got about 1 minute left. So overall, Carl, what do you think the market's going to do this year? I think it's going to stay stable or go up a little bit.
I think you spoke exactly what my thoughts are. We've been very busy on the appraisal front in January and February. But a lot of it is just doing some non-lender work outside of lending practices, and that's been really good for us. But I think the market will be stable in 2026.
I do too.
I don't think they're going to lower interest rates much more than they already are. I think it's going to be pretty stable in 2026. But it is a great time to sell. There are more people in the market that want to be here. I'm seeing prices come down to the point where it's affordable. Townhomes now over in Long Valley are under $300,000. I saw them for $280,000, $285,000 in Long Valley. and some other places that it's getting to be more affordable. So
Awesome. So if somebody has questions about appraisals or wants to get an appraisal, how do they get a hold of you?
yeah, jump on our website, r1appraisal.net. You can find us there, or my cell phone. Just to Google us. We're top on Google on R1 Appraisals. You can call us there. So.
Awesome. And if you want to get a hold of the Larkin Group, just Google the Larkin Group. Again, thanks for joining us. This is Jesse Paul and Carl Wright with Real Estate Morning Drive with Keller Williams Realty. Over and out.